Are you struggling to get through Tournament Arena and Tacticus? Do you feel like you're making all the right moves but still end up losing? You might be making some subtle mistakes that are costing you victories without even realizing it. Today we're going to fix that. I'm breaking down the top 5 errors players make and how you can correct them to start winning games right now. We've all been there. You're in a nail-biter of a match, everything feels like it's going your way, and then boom, the tables turn. A key character gets vaporized, your big push stalls out, and you're staring the defeat screen, wondering what on earth just happened. The truth is, Tacticus is a game of inches where tiny mistakes can have huge consequences, and for Tournament Arena, this is crucial because you want to reach that last chest and all the amazing goodies within it, and it is well within your reach. Today we're going to dissect the 5 most common and costly blunders that are secretly wrecking your matches, and this isn't just for beginners, even veteran players can fall into these traps. For each mistake, we'll talk about why it's so bad and give you a clear, simple way to fix it. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to plug the leaks in your strategy and start turning those frustrating losses into consistent wins. So let's dive in. The first mistake isn't a gameplay error, but a mental one. Panicking in the tournament arena. We've all been there. You're trying to earn points for that big milestone chest. You lose one match, then another, and suddenly the pressure's on. You feel like every loss is a disaster, that you're falling behind, and that you have to win the next match or you'll never make it. The panic is your worst enemy. It clouds your judgment and forces you into making bad decisions on the battlefield. You start rushing, making desperate plays, and basically getting tilted, which only leads to more losses. The worst part of this is that the stress is built on a total misunderstanding of how Tournament Arena actually works. Players struggle and feel awful about their performance because they think they need a near perfect win record to get the rewards, and the fix is actually just simple math and a change in mindset. So here's the secret. In a Tournament Arena, there are 41 matches to play through over 3 days. If you play in the epic ranking section, which is where you use gold characters, and that is well within the capabilities of most players to put a team together, then each match is worth a maximum of 10 points, but even if you lose, you can still get up to 4 points by just killing your opponent's characters. I recommend that you actually focus on getting a team to gold level as quickly as possible because the extra point for a win means it's easier to get that chest than it is at the lower ranks. And so this gives you a maximum of 410 points over 3 days from victories. And with the last crate costing 200 points to achieve, that means you actually only need 50% of your matches. And the reality is that it's even less than this because you get points for every single kill you have. So let that sink in. A 50% win rate is what you need. Losses are not just expected, they're literally built into the system. So instead of agonizing over every defeat, just see it as part of the process. Your goal isn't to be undefeated, it's to be consistent. So use your tokens, focus on getting as many kills as you can in each one, and don't let a loss throw you off your game. Once you realize you don't need to be perfect, the pressure evaporates, you'll play better, have more fun, and you'll still cruise to that final chest. Our second mistake again happens off the battlefield, but has a devastating impact on it. It's spreading your resources way too thin. When you're new to the game, it throws a ton of characters at you, and it's tempting to level them all up a little bit. A few XP books for Bellator, an upgrade for Vindicta, some badges for Aleph Null. It feels like you're being productive, like you're building this big flexible roster, but here's the hard truth. You're actually building a team of nobodies. In Tacticus, resources like XP, badges, orbs, and especially gold are incredibly scarce. By trying to upgrade everyone, you end up with a resource where no one is truly strong. You'll slam into a wall in campaigns and get absolutely flattened in the arena because your characters are all stuck at a low to mid power level. A team of 5 Bronze 1 characters will always lose to a team with 2 Silver 1 powerhouses and 3 weaker allies, because those 2 strong units can just control the battle. The solution is to focus your efforts. At any stage of the game, pick a priority of 5 core characters and maybe 1 or 2 subs and pour your resources into them. For new players, this means focusing on the main campaign characters first to unlock more content. Pick a campaign and invest heavily in those required units. For example, zero in on your trio to get them ready for the Indomitus mirror campaign. Why? Because mirror campaigns give you way better drop rates, making your energy go so much further in the long run. Don't just upgrade a character because the button is glowing. Save those precious orbs for the characters who's really going to push you forwards. A focused strategy gives you powerhouse units that can carry you, which in turn unlocks more resources to build your next hero. And for Tournament Arena, that means leveling 5 characters to gold, getting their skills to level 35, and their equipment should be at least epic, and leveled to level 9. You can use higher leveled equipment on them, it'll just be downgraded so you don't need to bother swapping in and out equipment for your team. And I recommend to have one team that is leveled up like this because it's going to help you overpower so many of the other players who are playing at epic level with under-leveled characters in the arena. Alright, we're halfway through, and if you've spotted yourself making some of these mistakes, and don't sweat it, we've all been there. If this guide is helping you out, then do me a huge favour and hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow and tells me I'm on the right track. And if you want to keep getting guides like this to dominate in Tacticus, then make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing. We have some huge targets this year, as we're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and that's a huge goal to achieve. And remember, every 1,000 subscribers for any of the content creators gets us a new code in game, so it's well worth hitting that button. Now let's get into mistake number 3. The third mistake is building a team of all-stars instead of a team that actually works well together. It's so easy to look at the tier list, pick the 5 S-tiered characters that you happen to own, and throw them together expecting to crush it. But Tacticus isn't just about raw power, it's a game of force multiplication. A well-built, synergistic team will almost always beat a random collection of individually strong units. The solution is to build your teams around a central strategy or keyword. Think about how your units interact. The classic trifecta, tank, damage and support, is a fantastic starting point. So does your team have someone to soak up hits? Do you have dedicated killers? And do you have someone that can provide heals, buffs or summons? For example, pairing Thaddeus Noble with a heavy weapon sniper lets his passive ability really shine. Using Vindicta to set parts of the battlefield on fire is a brilliant way to clog up the board and shield your more important units. But also look for faction synergies. Many characters have passives that specifically boost allies from the same faction. The Black Legion's Let the Galaxy Burn trait makes them deal extra hits and corrupt the ground, which in turn powers up other Chaos allies attacking that spot. For me, I thoroughly recommend using parts of the Genestealer faction like Isaac and Jude, because although the enemy only needs to kill them once to get a point in the battle, they will come back and you can use them to keep damaging your enemies and potentially getting even more kills. And so when you build around these mechanics, your team becomes way more than the sum of its parts. A synergistic team with a clear game plan is one of the biggest leaps you can make towards winning more. Mistake number 4 is all about your abilities, either not using them at all or firing them off at the worst possible time. Your character's active and passive abilities are their secret weapons, and if you're just trading basic attacks back and forth, you're going to lose to anyone who is actually using their full kit. I constantly see players saving a powerful ability for that perfect moment that never arrives, or they just waste it on the first turn on a low priority target. And forgetting about your passives is just as bad. Characters like Eldrion are complete game changers almost entirely because of their passive. If you aren't positioning him correctly to apply his Doom debuff to the target you want to nuke, then you're wasting one of the best damage amplifiers in the game. Another classic blunder is just not paying attention to enemy traits. You have to be careful about how you sequence your attacks against units with Final Vengeance, for example, or they might take one of your guys down with them. The solution is to actively plan your turns around your abilities. At the start of your turn, don't just look for the best attack, look for the best ability. Can you use a movement skill to gain high ground for a huge damage boost? Can you use a stun or suppress to lock down their scariest character for a turn? And more recently, we're starting to see active abilities with a cooldown. They aren't one and done, so don't be afraid to use these early to press an advantage. But one of the most important things here is to read the fine print. Does an ability like Thoth's Missile Rack deal extra damage to a target that's already been hit by a psychic damage this turn? If so, then you need to set that up with another Psyker first. Another perfect example I see all the time is newer players running straight into Revas's Overwatch, because if you don't understand how it works and you just blindly march your troops into her kill zone, then you're going to watch in disbelief as your entire team gets shredded before you even take a shot. And all you need to do is just hold back a turn. Reading and understanding every one of the abilities and traits in the game is non-negotiable if you want to climb above others. They are the tools that let you outsmart your opponent. And in the end, practice makes perfect. Our final mistake is one that can suck the fun right out of the game, blindly chasing the meta instead of building a team that you actually enjoy and really learning how they work. When we talk about the meta, we're just talking about the collection of strategies that are popular and powerful at any given time. It's easy to see what the top players are using and feel like you have to copy their teams to stand a chance. So often right now we'll see teams with Karn, Carrion, Ragnar, Golgorts, and some others fitting in there. The problem with this is that you end up playing someone else's game and not your own. You pour scarce resources into a character you don't even like, and this leads to burnout and makes the game feel like a chore instead of a hobby. What's the point of winning if you're not having fun doing it? And so the solution is to understand the meta, but not be a slave to it. First, be a student to the game. You absolutely should know what you're up against. Learn how the Blood Angels like to work by aggressively attacking. Understand what summon spam teams like the Thousand Suns are trying to do. The knowledge is your shield. But secondly, forge your own path. Instead of copying what's popular, find a faction or set of characters that you think is cool and invest in them. A player who has mastered an off-meta team they love will almost always beat someone who's just clumsily piloting a meta team they don't understand. A well-played, well-leveled, synergistic team you know inside and out is more powerful than any tier list. So build a team that's fun for you and learn how to use that to dismantle the meta. The most satisfying wins come from beating popular strategies with your own signature style. For me, I'm trying to build the most annoying team in the game to play Tournament Arena. I currently have Jude, Isaac, Lucius, Calandis, and Celestine. Although if you want to replace Celestine with an easier character to achieve, then someone like Marshall Dreer or Titus are perfect replacements. Isaac floods the field with neophyte hybrids that really hurt when they shoot as well as respawning when they die, and Isaac and Jude also do the same respawning trick. Then Lucius just loves to go forward, die, and infect someone, while Calandis just runs around the outskirts of the battlefield doing serious damage. Then if I'm using Celestine, I'll save her until the second round and jump onto a squishy head and kill them. Her Gemini Superior will allow her to take a few hits, and then she can retreat back to the safety of her team. And using this team gets me 200 points as quickly as you can imagine, and it's the easiest chest you'll ever get, because it also works incredibly well against the meta teams that have Karn and Ragnar and the rest, because who cares if they kill your Jude or Isaac, when they're going to be straight back next round to smash you. So there you have it, the 5 subtle but crucial mistakes that might be costing you wins in Tacticus. Chances are you've recognized at least one of your own habits in there, and that's a great thing, because knowing is the first step. Don't try and fix everything at once, just pick one thing to focus on, and so for this week's Tournament Arena, maybe try and play without worrying about the stress of winning. Or maybe commit to spending gold and orbs on your 5 core characters and just bring them up that little bit more. Small, consistent improvements will lead to huge gains in your win rate over time, because Tacticus is a marathon and not a sprint. And if this guide has helped you to pinpoint the mistake you've been making, then let me know down in the comments below which one it was. And more importantly, I'd love to hear about the team that you've had most fun playing, because your tips could help someone else in the community. And so last thing, I want to talk about a new feature for my channel, which is the ability to become a channel member, just like the wonderful Alnilam, who is my first ever member. And the member tiers are split up into 2. The silver members get their own loyalty badges, emojis, and shoutouts, and the gold members get early access to videos when I manage to get them done, so you can get ahead of the game. Usually I officially release my videos on Wednesday, but as a gold member, you can get them as early as Monday. And all the memberships just help me keep growing the channel and delivering to you the best Tacticus content around. So think about it, and I'll see you soon.